All right, it's over in Pittsburgh. The game and likely Ben Roethlisberger's career in that building. That's right, and the Steelers win. Now, Steelers still alive for a playoff spot. They basically need a three-leg parlay to come in. They have to win next week in Baltimore. Doable. Sunday Night Football cannot end in a tie between the Raiders and the Chargers. Doable. The third one, maybe pump it. The Colts have to lose in Jacksonville. You get that, and you get the Steelers in the playoffs, but they hold on tonight, and Roethlisberger, a very strange stat line. 24 of 46 for 123 yards. When was the last time someone threw it basically a half 100 times, had over a 50% completion percentage, and only threw for 123 yards? That just happened. Ben Roethlisberger closing the book in Pittsburgh in all likelihood, at home because they're going to play on the road next week, and he gets it done with a win. All right, Brian McFadden played with the Steelers, won 2 Super Bowls there, was Ben Roethlisberger's teammate for 6 seasons, and of course is one of our great analysts here. As a Steeler who played with Ben for a half a dozen years, what were you thinking sort of during the game and in the final moments watching Ben, knowing this is probably his last time in that stadium wearing the uniform?
I was thinking throughout the entire ball game that the Steelers were going to find a way to pull it out. And it literally was the defense that kind of put the team on their back. We saw some pretty good play from the offensive side of things, but in the red zone, they became a bit stagnant, settled for field goals. But, man, T.J. Watt, you talk about putting it on performance to showcase his love for Big Ben. Man, Cam Hayward, all the guys on the defensive side balled out. And Big Ben did just enough. Yes, it is a weird stat line. You talked about his numbers, 123 yards on 46 passing attempts, touchdown, interception. But he did enough for them to win the ball game. And that was huge based on everyone knowing that this was his last home game in Heinz Field.
What's his legacy in your mind, right? I mean, came in class of 04, threw for over 60,000 yards, won a couple of Super Bowls. But when you think of Ben Roethlisberger and we try to explain him to our kids or to people who see him play, what's his legacy?
First ballot Hall of Famer. Watching Big Ben play, he was like our version of John Elway, a very, very slippery guy. Might not have had the arm talent like John Elway, but his ability to extend plays. Wasn't considered the best athlete at the quarterback position, but he played with his heart, and he made defenders really utilize maximum effort in trying to bring him down. If you look at Big Ben's prime years, you know anything about number 7, you were going to have 11 guys trying to bring him down. And his hustle and just the mentality. So me personally, I think he will go down as one of the all-time greats for the Steelers organization. Clearly a first ballot Hall of Famer. And one of the best quarterbacks, probably the best quarterback to play for the Steelers.
And you know what? Clutch. Never really, yes. I thought, got the feeling or the credit for being clutch. Because when you look at it, look at the throw to Santonio Holmes in the Super Bowl to beat the Cardinals. Like, we've had lucky throws. We've had throws that have stuck to guys' helmets and stuff like that. Skill throw with it on the line where you only have a postage stamp to put it in from distance on the – there's not been a better throw than that throw. Clutch, won the Super Bowl, gets a lot of credit for that. Okay, what's the future of the Steelers? So let's start right now with the immediate future. I gave you the 3 things that need to happen. You got to go to Baltimore and win. Sunday Night Football can't end in a tie, and the Colts have to lose in Jacksonville. Do you believe that karma is going to find a way to get Ben Roethlisberger to the playoffs?
Why not? Why not? They still have a chance. Number 1, they got to win. That's the first important thing, most important thing. They have to win. Number 2, you need help. But the things that you mentioned, Indy losing to Jacksonville, it could happen. And clearly, I don't believe that Charger-Raider game will end in a tie. So they still got a legit chance. And think about this, understanding and knowing that, yes, this probably is Big Ben's last hoorah for the Steelers. What better way would it be for him to end in the postseason? So they got a shot, but I can tell you this much, though, EK, think about this. Think about how up and down the season has been for the Pittsburgh Steelers. If they don't make it into the playoffs, it's safe to say they can thank the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, they tied the Lions, and that was really kind of the game for Pittsburgh. Now, let's go over to Cleveland. Let's start with the coaching. Did they not know Nick Chubb was on their team in the first half? Was this like college football where, like, he had a penalty in the previous game, basically had to sit out the first half and could show up till after? Like, yeah, did you see him run in the second half? That is a full-grown man. What was going on?
I don't know. I don't know why offensive coaches do this. Time and time again, we see the same thing happen for different organizations. Let's go back a week ago against the Green Bay Packers on the road. In the first half, Nick Chubb only had 4 carries. Nick Chubb, one of the best running backs in the National Football League, only had 4 carries last week. And then when you look at this week, playing against a team, if you know anything about the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, they cannot stop the run. They couldn't stop the run. Detroit ran up and down on them. Cincinnati ran up and down on them. Every team they faced off against had success running the football in between the tackles. Guess what? Nick Chubb was not even in the game plan, it seemed like. I don't understand. But we see this all the time from offensive coordinators, from play callers. They want to do it the hard way. It doesn't make any sense. And because of that, don't forget this. TJ Watt was on the opposite side. At what point do you realize we can't block him? Matter of fact, we don't even have our starting right tackle in the game. We already have a backup. Let's give him some help. Let's chip him. Let's put a tight end over there. We're going to allow him to get 3 sacks and then decide to do that.
Yeah,
horrible coaching
4.
job.
And even in the first half, TJ Watt at one point in time just decided not to rush, stood there, waited for Baker Mayfield to throw the football, and then jumped up and batted it down like he was playing defense in basketball.
Let me break something down to you guys that they didn't highlight. When TJ Watt found out what they were doing whenever the Cleveland Browns went to an empty set. An empty set is 5 wide receivers, no one in the backfield, Baker Mayfield by himself. He understood they were going to the quick game. If you look at the first drive for the Cleveland Browns, they utilized the quick game. They put Jarvis Landry either at the number 2 or the number 3, and they made him work on a linebacker. Remember, they had a lot of success on that same formation in the playoff game a year ago. So when TJ Watt realized what they were doing, why rush when you're getting the ball out of your hands extremely fast and you're attacking the side of 3? The side where where 3 wide receivers was. That's a great mental adjustment by one of the best pass rushers, one of the best defenders in the game. And I'm just surprised they didn't highlight that, because that's something that I picked out on. Anytime they went to an empty set, TJ Watt said, I'm not going to rush. I know they're trying to get the football out quick and attack a matchup in their favor inside the numbers, and that was a huge adjustment by TJ.
I don't know if when we show the all-time sack leaders, if you can't, you got to put an asterisk next to Michael Strahan if he's first. I mean, Brett Favre gave it to him. All right, like, come on, you got to put an asterisk next to that. It's not really his record. Anyway, so I hope TJ Watt gets it next week to sort of end that controversy. Cleveland beat Pittsburgh in the playoffs last year. They did have some injuries this year. They do have Myles Garrett. They do have a franchise left tackle. They do have Nick Chubb. They do have pieces. Pittsburgh, they have Watt. They obviously have a running back, Najee Harris. You don't know what their quarterback situation is going forward. Who has the brighter future over the next few years in your mind, Pittsburgh or Cleveland, and why?
I think Pittsburgh, and here's why. I trust the coaching staff more so for Pittsburgh, primarily speaking, the head coach compared to Coach Stefanski and the Browns. And Kevin Stefanski came into this season with a lot of hype, but he lost a lot of coaching leverage based on the inability to utilize his best players. And then when you look at the quarterback concerns, yes, Big Ben is getting ready to retire, we believe. But heck, even if you bring back Baker Mayfield, based on what we've seen this year, is that the guy you want to go build a franchise around? I don't think so. So me personally, I think it's the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think it's the Steelers. I think the Browns missed their window. Honestly, EK, I think they missed their window. Their window it was open a little bit. Now it's starting to close on them.
Well, it was open last year when they won a playoff game, but this year they regressed back and not get there. What's next for Cleveland?
Well, try to finish the season out on a good note and now address the quarterback situation. Think about this. They picked up Baker's 5th-year option.
Right. You got to let him play next year. Right.
You have to let him play. You have to let him play. But when you pick up a high round, first overall, number 2, number 3, number 4, fifth-year option, you're basically telling him we're not quite ready to give you an extension. So what do you do at the quarterback position in the draft? Because if you didn't give him an extension, and granted, I believe he's not worthy of getting a huge handsome ransom just yet, you still have to address the quarterback position in the draft, in my opinion.
Well, they're going to have to figure it out because someone will overpay for a quarterback that has experience. And Baker Mayfield has been very good in spots and very bad in spots. He's been inconsistent. He did lead this team in the playoffs last year, has had a really nice start with his rookie year, and has had some lulls as well. And, like in my family, we always say, don't complain without a solution. You don't like Baker Mayfield. What are you going to do instead? You better have a soft landing spot before you just say,
so let me ask you this question.
Yep.
Who gives this team a better chance in winning ball games when healthy? Case Keenum or Baker Mayfield?
Baker Mayfield. It's Baker Mayfield. I mean, right? It's got to be Baker Mayfield. No?
I mean, I don't know if there's that much of a difference, the gap of separation. I don't know how large that gap is between Case Keenum and Baker Mayfield. I don't know. That's the question. Like you said, it has to be Baker Mayfield. You answered the question and then you asked me, it has to be Baker Mayfield. So therefore, you're not overly confident in picking Baker Mayfield. There lies the question right there, EK.
No, here's what I'm saying to him. Listen, if you think that you're going to get huge franchise crazy money, no. I'm not your guy. But we live in a world where Kirk Cousins is getting $30 million a year, right? Yeah. That's just the world we live in now.
When Kirk Cousins got that first deal from Minnesota, he had a heck of a year for Washington that led to that opportunity. I mean, it's safe to say what Baker did last year in his rookie campaign, outside of those 2 years, Baker has really been below average, especially this year.
Yep.
Especially this year.
Look, nobody's thrown more picks since 2018 than Baker Mayfield. Excellent job tonight. Thank you so much for your perspective. Sure. As a Steeler, as a former teammate of Ben Roethlisberger, the great Brian McFadden, two-time Super Bowl champ with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And you want more? You got more. That's right. Patrick Peterson, current Viking, current teammate of Kirk Cousins. And B-Mac doing a podcast for us. All things covered. Get it? They're cornerbacks. They cover you. See? That's how they do it. That's a good name. That's good. I'm telling you, you're going to like this one. You download, you follow, you enjoy.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.